Hello again, Ivor Chester, your balance coach, restarting. We had a little glitch for the earlier presentation, so I'm starting it over. Today we're going to be talking about the battle. Now, we're all in a good battle, okay? And there are things that we should be fighting. These things that we're fighting include presuppositions that other people have put upon us. Some of them are presuppositions that we've put on ourselves. Some of it's family baggage. Some of it's the past and the fear of the future. It's just a whole bunch of things. We battle God. We battle all types of distractionary things. And they're the good things that we do battle, as I've mentioned some of them. But oftentimes we waste a whole lot of time in battles with people who love us, with things that we fear, when actually we can overcome them. In my education on this topic, I've talked to people who have overcome a great many things, be it physical handicaps, be it financial setbacks, be it educational woes, relational issues, the things that they feel that they have overcome. They often tell me that though they did have to fight quite a bit about it, in reality, the battle was a lot easier than they made it out to be at the very beginning. Now, I've said many times I've worked in psych for over 25 years. I have been in more fights, physical altercations, some real tough ones too, with patients that come in and they want to fight the staff and employees because they think we're the enemy. The reality is they brought the enemy in with themselves. They had a belief system that we're trying to battle to get beyond that crust, beyond that false armor, to get into the hurting person on the inside. Understand, people who are in the wrong battles are hurt people. There's a saying I've seen by many time clocks at many jobs that say, hurting people hurt people. Okay? If you're hurting, I'm never invalidating the hurt that you feel. All right? It's true. However, if you're leaning on it as a future destination, you'll never overcome it. It'll just be more armor that you're overlaying onto yourself and baggage that you're going to have to drag into the future. I want you to start battling the right things. Okay? Battle your fear. Find out what it is. Battle poor presuppositions. In other words, ideas or even pre-ideas that are in the back of your head that says you can't, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not this, that enough, you'll never have enough time. Excuse me. So these battles have to be worthwhile. We've heard the sword, the saying that says, I'm just not going to die on that sword. Okay? Sometimes we give up battles because we just realize they're not worth it. Okay? Have no regret about that. Feel good that you're letting go of that battle. But the real battles, the ones that do us the real harm, the ones I really want to get to real quick here. These battles that we engage in with people who love us. These battles that we pick up a sword and start to wield against those who believe in us, who want to help us, who may even know more about ourselves than we do, are false battles. They're harmful battles. They will never be productive. There are times where you're going to have to drop the armor. There are going to be times when you're going to have to let it down around the right people. Put your hands up and go. What do you want? What is it that you want to say? What do you want from me? What is it that you feel I need to say? Now, when you have that shift, as I've mentioned many times, and I've had these discussions with you before, but they need to be walked around completely. Hello, Gordon. What you need to know is when you have these battles with them, they're not going to, when you change, I mean, in these battles, they're not going to immediately change with you. They're still going to swing at you. They're still going to fight you. And depending on how long you have known them, they're going to fight with you for weeks, months, maybe even years, until they finally understand that you're changing your game. Okay? There are lots of stories throughout history of people who seem to have vanished, who were one thing. They vanished, they stepped back, and then when they came back for the next season, for the next tryout, for the next thing, they were completely changed people because they drew that line in the sand that says, you know what? I'm stepping up my game. I'm going to start battling the right things and not battle the people who love me. First person you love is you. You have to love yourself. But to beat and kick and scream and scratch at people who love you, who are trying to help, will not progress a relationship. It'll end you up on a desert island. And some people wrongly believe, like maybe even I did for a while, cool, I would love to be left the hell alone and just be on a desert island and swing on my hammock and suck coconuts and, with a fishing string on the end of my toe and just live life. No, that's not the way God intended us, because we're intended to be social. And it's not going to be productive. Remember, you're going to be the problem with that. So how do you know who to fight? Well, the first one you fight is you fight for what you want. If you want this person in your life, then you fight for them. If you don't have a significant other in your life just yet, and you're not getting what you want, then you start fighting for what you want. You start investing in the things that you need to do, the inner talk, the inner programming, which will flip that belief switch, which will start getting different feelings, which will progress outward like the skin of an onion, to where other people will start seeing changes on you. But this is not going to happen overnight. Don't be impatient with yourself. Now, again, going back to how other people see you when you start changing, because they're not going to see it overnight, you're going to have to ask them for some patience. And then you're going to have to throw them some crumbs. So when they lose their patience with you, and they still expect you to take their emotional bait that they throw out when they call you those trigger names, and you're going to sit there and you're just going to let them fall. You're going to look the fool. You're going to look a little passive. You're going to look like you're losing, but never mistake grace for losing. You're letting people take a bite out of you so you can further both yourself and the relationship, maybe in your entire family. It doesn't mean you have to belly up. But what it means is you don't have to sit here and trigger back on them. As I've repeatedly said, the only time a gun ever really works to its purpose is when it is loaded with ammunition. And if somebody's pushing your triggers and you don't have ammo in the gun, you're Superman, man. Those triggers don't work. It'll just go click, click, click. So, ultimately, first love yourself. It'll matter. You're not going to follow for their game. 2, love somebody else enough to not set tripwires and hoops and emotional landmines around you, to where they have to dance in certain ways that you seem to think are appropriate. They're not. You love people enough like they are, but there is a middle ground that is indistinct and personal between the two of what is important and what is appropriate. You take that then out into the world and let other people see how relaxed you are around others and how relaxed they can be around you. They will seek you out, because people always seek out something that is safe. If they feel safe around you, you're going to have more friends than you possibly know, and you won't beg for anybody. So stop fighting. Stop fighting. Please. become a person of peace. What does it matter? It starts somewhere, folks. You don't like the shape the world is in? I don't either. But I've had enough. I've had enough. Join me in this appropriate fight. I'm Ivor Chester. I'm the Had Enough guy. We'll see you out there.